New York, as artificial intelligence models become bigger, faster, and integrated into every facet of modern life, an unprecedented challenge is quietly unfolding behind the scenes, a massive energy crunch across the United States. From Virginia's data center alley to the technology corridors of Texas and Georgia, tech giants like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta are racing to build massive server facilities. However, power grid operators and local communities are raising urgent alarms about whether the American electricity infrastructure can keep up with the overwhelming demand. The unprecedented power demand. For decades, electricity demand in the U.S. grew at a steady, predictable rate of roughly 0.5% per year. Today, driven by the explosive growth of generative AI, advanced cloud computing, and electric vehicle adoption, power demand forecasts are skyrocketing. Key fact: processing a single query through an AI model like ChatGPT requires up to 10 times more electricity than a standard Google search query. Traditional search query, 0.3 watt-hours. AI query or generation, 2.9 watt-hours. Large-scale AI data centers can draw hundreds of megawatts of continuous electricity, enough to power entire cities of 100,000 to 200,000 homes. Grid operators under pressure. The sudden influx of energy-hungry facilities is forcing utility companies to reevaluate their long-term plans. Delayed coal and gas retirements. Several utility companies across the Midwest and southern U.S. have announced plans to postpone the retirement of fossil fuel power plants to avoid rolling blackouts. Grid congestion. Regional grid operators like PJM Interconnection, which spans 13 eastern states, are facing massive backlogs in connecting new power sources to the grid. Infrastructure costs. Upgrading high-voltage power lines and transformers requires billions of dollars and years of regulatory approvals. Local impact. Water, bills, and community backlash. It isn't just about electricity. Cooling these hyper-dense GPU chips requires millions of gallons of water daily, drawing concern from agricultural communities and local residents. Impact area. Resident and community concerns. Electricity costs. Risk of residential utility bill increases to subsidize grid expansion. Water resources. Significant water consumption for cooling systems during hot summer months. Zoning and land. Agricultural and residential land being rezoned for industrial warehouse-style server farms. In Virginia's Loudoun County, home to the world's largest concentration of data centers, local boards are facing intense pushback from homeowners demanding stricter noise regulations and green energy commitments before approving new permits. The race for clean and nuclear solutions. To meet their ambitious net-zero carbon pledges while feeding their hungry AI systems, tech behemoths are turning to alternative power sources, small modular nuclear reactors. Tech firms are making direct investments in next-generation nuclear energy, aiming to co-locate data centers right next to nuclear reactors. Geothermal and solar storage. Companies are funding advanced geothermal systems and massive battery storage farms to guarantee 24/7 continuous green power. On-site power generation. Some facilities are installing dedicated microgrids to lessen their reliance on public utilities. What lies ahead? The dynamic between artificial intelligence expansion and energy availability is fast becoming a defining national policy issue. Federal regulators, state lawmakers, and tech leaders are gathering for emergency summits to balance economic competitiveness in the global AI race with environmental goals and grid reliability. One thing is certain: the future of AI will not just be decided by software code and microchips, but by the physical wires, turbines, and power plants that keep the lights on across America.